Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome back to the Entities Campfire Week 2, the final stretch of Week 2 at that 3 matches today. Seraphim versus Voidheart to start off with. Here on the side of Seraphim, Trance playing the Oni here on the Rotten Fields. Cat, Foxfibs, Danny Dorito, and Broccoli here for the side of Voidheart. Currently, we're looking for a stealth going on here against the Oni on the corrupt intervention side of the map. Cannot quite find anyone. The survivors stealthing quite well so far. And Trance not quite able to find anyone. We could be seeing... Yeah, the survivors are currently rotating right now, trying to find as best of a rotation as possible. Cat already on a generator on the other side of the map here. So doing very, very well. We do find the generator being worked here. This is going to be, it looks like Cat in chase here. Yeah, Cat in chase here at this TNL wall. And it's going to be a pretty early tag here coming in on Cat. So that's really, really good for Trance here. Blood now being collected. And we could be seeing a pretty early down as well. A very early down as well. Coming in from Cat. No power activated just yet. So this is actually going to be very good for Trance here. No power though. So... although this hook is coming in pretty relatively early here, especially on the side of the map that maybe we want to get a pain resonance, we're not going to be seeing any usage of the power just yet. Collecting blood, make it a little bit faster here. At this point, Voidheart needs to be a little bit careful. We cannot afford to give another free tag here. And there is Danny Dorito now moving away from his generator. Trance going to actually look to chase this, not going to look to actually... go for any sort of unhook play. Foxfibs getting off his generator, it looks like, to be able to go for the unhook. And we're trying to mind game this tile best as we possibly can. Not able to find Danny Dorito, playing that tile very, very well here. Heading back over to the unhook to go for Cat here. Does not want to give it for free. And it's not going to give it for free, in fact, actually. So very, very well played from Trance. Understanding his pressure here. Knowing that generator is not quite going to pop yet. Kicking this generator here, going to apply Eruption. And speaking of which, talk about perks. We have Corrupt, Pain Res, Eruption, and batteries included. Very interesting perk here, one you don't really see in DBD comp a lot, and that's almost going to be a tag on the Foxfibs, but it's not going to quite land true. A kick up the pallet, and we're going to actually head back over to the hook to make sure it does not come in for free. We do see Broccoli was coming in for it and does actually get it here. We now need to leave. Trance is going to get his power off of one more Blood Room. He's going to find it on Cat in just a second. The borrow time going to last, or going to give Cat just a little bit of time on that. So we have a little bit of time to be able to loop these tiles best of our, to the best of our ability. Vaulting this window, we know this gen was worked, or was being worked pretty well here. Cat actually doing a pretty good jiggy here, but can we actually make the pallet? The answer is yes, we can. Has to win this window 50 and will actually win the first one and will win the second one as well. Cat actually really proving themselves here back in this chaser, but unfortunately does get down yet again. A very valiant attempt from Cat here as a gen does pop in the distance, picking up Cat. There's no pain resonance to be had, so Voidheart can be happy about that. And Foxfibs and Danny are doubling up a generator, popping our power here. We know Broccoli was around here. We want to try to get a very, very swift down here onto Broccoli on this tie-on. We're not going to quite be able to do it. Dropping the pallet just in time to save his life, and we're going to head over to continue the chase. Vaulting the window, and we're not going to quite make it either. That's a down onto Broccoli. Now the question is, do we pick or do we go back to hook? I think the smart play is to go back to hook, and I think Trance agrees. Not going to be able to get the unhook for free. If you are Trance, you maybe could have camped that hook for the rest of the time there. Maybe you have enough time with the power. However, Trance instead going to choose to take the rest of his power to look around the map, try to find any other survivor, maybe stealthing, maybe trying to go for unhook. Out of power now, Shack. We do see Foxfibs, I believe, at this Shack tile. Unfortunately, going to have to just drop it. A flashbang coming through to get a blind onto him. Danny Dorito picking up Broccoli from the ground. I don't think Cat is leaving this hook, and I think we're going to be seeing a death at 4 gens remaining. Look at all this blood. Juicy, juicy blood for our Oni player here on this side of the map here. Trance going to end up to half of his enraged bar. And this gen so close to popping. Eruption being applied. And there is Cat leaving the trial early with 3 practically gens remaining. This gen about to be finished. Broccoli needs to be very, very careful. Blood orbs on the map could indicate his location. And there are some blood orbs right here Bit of a trail for Trance to follow. Broccoli could be stealthing here. I think Trance maybe thinks so, but it's not going to be Broccoli. If it was, we would see Blood Orbs probably make you looking for another survivor here. And we see Blood Orbs on the corner of the map here, so we do actually know which direction Broccoli went. Foxfibs now working a generator somewhere off in the distance. But it's actually going to head away and try to work a bit of a safer gen here. We need to be a little bit careful as the Oni is in power, and there is Broccoli. A drop of the pallet, more Blood Orbs to Trance's name here. Needs to win this pallet 50 and will actually do so. Very well played by Broccoli. Can we do it again? Very well played by Broccoli yet again. The question is, do we make the pallet again? We unfortunately do not win that 50-50, and Broccoli will be going down. Eruption applied to that generator, taking the power. We're going to be heading over to that generator right now. Danny needs to be very, very careful here as we're... Ooh, there's Foxfibs, though. The question is, can we get a quick down? Not quite. A very good dodge from Foxfibs as well to actually avoid Trance's power, but unfortunately, it will result in a down for Foxfibs. The question is, does Trance actually want to take and cut his losses? No, I think we know where Danny Dorito could be. We can end this game very, very quickly if we can find him. Danny being very, very careful, stealthing, running now. And we are actually picking up Broccoli. Gonna head over to this Pain Resonance hook here. Danny Dorito has no choice but to stealth. Does not want to get found. Needs to actually be very, very careful. Wants to maybe fake out Danny to maybe think I was going for the pickup. Actually, no, I'm coming back to stealth or I'm coming back to patrol this hook. Doesn't actually find Danny. So we're actually going to go ahead and kick this gen. Apply Eruption. Get a little bit of pressure back on the map here. Danny, or Foxfibs still on the ground here. Danny looks like wants to go for the pickup onto Foxfibs first. Maybe a smart play here. And wants to keep stealthing around for Broccoli's unhook, but it looks like we're actually just simply going to get it. Here comes, however, Trance for the unhook. Very, very close now. There is Danny Dorito. Danny does not have a pallet here to play. Needs to try to make the window, but unfortunately, it's just not going to make it. A tag onto Danny Dorito. Look at all this juicy blood. We can absorb it and get our power. And the question is, do we pop it? But it doesn't look like we don't. We're going to just M1 chase for now. No need to be too hasty. We know that they don't have much pressure on the map pretty much anywhere. We can go ahead and continue chase on to Danny Dorito here. And Danny, unfortunately, going to get caught off on this pallet. Trance going to go down. Popping our power. Eruption applied to this generator. We do see Broccoli on this generator, so maybe we want to go for a very quick down here with the power. And the Oni being very oppressive with his power is very, very possible that you can do it. A good curve coming in from Trance. The question is, can we find Foxfibs and close out this game? Yes, we can. Scratch marks indicating his location. Pools of blood marking his death. And that is going to be a 4K with 3 gens remaining. Very well played from Trance here. A very valiant effort from Voidheart. The other question you have to ask yourself, do bleed outs happen? Bleed outs do matter here at the end of these campfires. So if bleed outs can actually happen here, it will result in a better win condition for the side of Voidheart. Just patrolling around, seeing if we can maybe find where we have kept the slugs, and there is Broccoli. Broccoli now being picked up, going to be put on a hook here. It's just to find Danny Dorito. Now Danny Dorito, the most amount of time left on the ground. He's probably going to get found here, but the question is a matter of when. Picking up power again. We want to actually patrol the map as quick as possible with our power. We don't quite find Danny Dorito. Danny Dorito looking around Shack, but Trance obviously does not know this. Gonna keep looking around the corners. So again, we're going for a bit of a bleed out play here. So we could be seeing Danny Dorito heading into the basement. Maybe we're going for a hatch play. Now the question is, does Trance think to look by hatch? Foxfibs going into the second stage here. Trance still looking around the edges of the map. Thinks that Danny is maybe going for the bleed out around the edges of the map here, but we actually know that Trance or that Danny is going for a bit of a hatch play here. No need to worry about people knowing that, by the way, based on the stream. We have a bit of a delay here. And it does look like, yeah, Danny's gonna get found. A very good effort from Danny. That almost actually worked. But I think Trance was coming to close the hatch anyway. A 4K with 3 gens remaining. A very, very good result here for the Oni on the Coldwind, or on the route. Coldwind farm? I think Coldwind farm. I forget what map this is. I can actually look at some point. We'll find out when we come back after a short break whether or not Voidheart is going to be able to contest with that. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rotten Fields here. I haven't seen this map in a while. I like to refer it as the Wrecker's Yard of Coldwind, but the Rotten Fields here, playing some more Oni here. Seraphim versus Voidheart for the side of Voidheart. Roxanne playing the Oni for the side of Seraphim. Trance, Singles, Tricks, and we. And we're looking a little bit for maybe any rotation coming in on the Survivor's side here. Do not quite find anything. Our players wanting to just do a bit of a rotate as much as possible here. We see some scratch marks. And we actually do see Tricks here, who has no choice but to drop the shack relatively early. As we are now taking chase at shack. Yet again here, gonna actually vault the window. Bamboozle now gonna come through on the shack. Has no choice but to run to this filler tile here. Gonna run over to the cow tree. Very, very smart pathing here, but it doesn't like Roxanne is actually interested in continuing that chase here. We want to patrol the generators. We want to find an easier chase, and we do actually see one in the form of, it looks like no, it looks like Singles. Singles now taking chase at this filler tile here. This filler pallet is actually going to win that. Oh, this is a really strong setup here for Singles here. A Bamboozle coming through, and almost a swing through the pallet lands true, but it's not going to quite happen here. I think we might be seeing a tag relatively soon here. No, it looks like not. Singles winning these tiles very, very well here. Bamboozle coming in, winning these TNLs very, very well here. Roxanne trying to get a mind game going, but not going to quite happen here. Needs to win this 50, and actually does. Good ping from Singles here. Not going to quite land a hit. So Roxanne, no choice but to lead breaking this gen. Remember, our win condition is 4k4, so we have to make sure we can end this game very, very quickly. The Oni, you can do it on the Oni. If you get a relatively good chase, relatively early enraged, and are able to get downs very, very quickly with your power, it's not unheard of. But it would require a lot of Survivor mistakes, and it doesn't look like this team is one that is going to be making mistakes as Seraphim. Pretty experienced team here. Tricks heading over to the machine now, has to win this window. Will actually vault through, and it will result in a tag for Tricks here coming in. So a tag coming through, but one more gen popping will be the tie condition. And now Tricks wants to head over to this filler tile. Wants to head to the cow tree. A very, very smart pathing coming in from Tricks here. Wants to loop it efficiently, though. So wants to actually loop the inside or the outside of it in order to make it, yeah, so that we can actually make a new tile. So another gen popping off in the distance. Enraged coming through. Roxanne gonna try to get it down onto Tricks as quickly as we possibly can here, but a stun coming through. Very well played from Tricks here, taking our distance, but the Oni in power is very, very quick. And we're not gonna quite be able to break the pallet either, as a gen in the distance does pop again. 2 gens remaining, and that is gonna be the win for Seraphim for the Oni set. Very well played from Seraphim. Very good generator efficiency. As we are now seeing chase on to Trance here. A down coming through at this further pallet here. We have to take or cut our losses here. Have no choice but to get the pick. Pain Resonance is exactly what you need right now. No help going to be coming in for Trance here. Not going to have a Pain Resonance. These Pain Resonances are very unlucky. Singles diligently working a gen off in the distance. Need to apply Eruption to this gen and find the generator that Singles is working on. We can, in fact, do it, but I think it is a very, very far generator, as Tricks is going to be working on a filler gen, and Singles working on the gen in the far distance, yeah. We're not actually interested in going for it, though. We want to just head back. Maybe we want to tunnel a little bit here. We now taking chase at this filler pallet. Gonna actually drop it. Get a stun onto Roxanne as well. Very well played from We, as we're gonna continue chase on this filler pallet. The question is, can we win our 50-50s? It doesn't look like we can. Need to win one more here, and we will do so. Very good stuff from We. And now Yeah, we're continuing to win our 50-50s. The question is, Roxanne, can we win our 50s here? We doing very, very good here. Breaking the chase as well, so Bloodlust is over. We're winning every single 50 in the world. Can we win yet another? We do win yet another. Very well played stuff from We here. We are seeing Lady Luck on the side of our Hanatu player here. Now we want to head over to this Philip Pallet Balanced Landing coming through. Making the TNL walls. Bamboozle on this TNL wall. Want to make this filler palette here. Not going to quite happen, though, as we going to vault again that tile. Continuing to win these tiles. Can we win this 50? We do win a 50. Very good stuff from Roxanne. The question is, can we actually get it down onto We before we make this exit door? It's going to actually be very close if body blocks come in. Oh, but here comes they're leaving for hatch. They're leaving for hatch. We need to get around this and close the hatch. The question is, can we? We cannot! And that's going to be a one-stage result for Team Voidheart. A valiant effort coming in from Voidheart. Seraphim going to be taking the Oni set, and when we come back, we will see both of these teams go head-to-head on the Doctor. Stay tuned. We are back here for set number 2, ladies and gentlemen, playing some Doctor on the Mount Ormond Resort here. Roxanne playing the Doctor. Trance, we, Singles, and Tricks here on the side of Survivor here for Team Seraphim. A shot coming through to try to maybe get a quick tag here. And a shock again onto Trance. The question is, can we get a tag for it all? We cannot quite. A very good try from Roxanne. Shocking to try to keep Trance in this area. A big shock now coming through. Maybe we know if someone else is stealthing around. We do actually hit we. So that is actually going to be very, very helpful here for Roxanne. Having a bit of information there. Want to kick this pallet as well. Get these resources out of the way. Make your chases a little bit later or better in the mid game. And we do actually see Trance at this filler pallet as well. Gonna instantly drop it here against the Doctor. Doctor could be very difficult to actually have good chases here, as Trance is actually going to be able to make the window yet again, winning this lovely 50 here. Very good played from Roxanne. Shocking to try to end this chase as quickly as possible. But the question is, will Trance be able to last long enough for both of these gens at a distance to pop? It's looking so far as I guess the tag has not happened yet. Small Hut now coming in. We want to be able to get this down as quickly as possible. It's not going to happen as we do not have an injury just yet. Tricks will pop the gen. It looks like we need to get a shock in maybe a bit too late. Yeah, a little bit too late, but it's okay. We are going to be able to zone if we try to maybe... Yeah, you want to kick the pallet on this side. Looks like Roxanne wants to keep actually playing this window here, vaulting into the main building. And continuing chase here as 2 gens are going to pop. And Roxanne, no choice but to leave, it looks like. A big shot coming through. Finding Singles. Singles, not a bad find here. As we are at a different tile with different palette that's very playable. Head on. Coming in, very well played from Singles. Playing his perk relatively well here. Making the window... Swinging through the window. Maybe we're trying to get another tag here. Not going to quite happen. Shock therapy again coming through. Want to get the shock onto Singles. Make sure that he cannot make this tile. But he is actually going to make the pallet. A drop of the pallet as well. A kick from Roxanne. No choice. Now we need to find a tag as quickly as possible. But I think Singles is going to be able to make a tile. Yeah, Singles is going to be able to make another filler pallet. Not going to actually bother dropping it, as we do actually have a much better tile here on this machine here, as we're dropping it instantly. Practically a god pallet, but not quite, as it is 50-50able if you can actually find distance on the Survivor. But it's not going to happen. Singles is going to take his distance now. Tricks and Trance both working a den in the distance. That is very fun to say. Tricks and Trance. Tricks and Trance. That is... Wow. A tag onto Singles. We tried to window tech, but it's not going to quite happen here. Very good try from Singles. As we're continuing chase over at this filler tile. A shot coming through maybe to end this chase, and it looks like we will actually find it. Eruption coming in on this generator. That's actually going to be huge for Roxanne here. A static blast coming in, as we do actually see we is over here at this tile trying to pick up or try to play for a pallet save on to Singles here. A drop of the pallet, meaning we're not going to be able to get it. Trance now coming through. Shocking Trance as well. Maybe we want to go for... Ooh, here it is. Trance now in tier 3, so maybe we don't quite care about going for Trance anymore. Maybe we want to go back for the pickup onto Singles here. You can actually take the PR here. You have them in a really good spot here. You do fear maybe a flashy save is coming through, but they're both in tier 3, so it's not going to quite happen. Again, I don't remember. You would think I would know. Ooh, a very good window tech coming in from Wee, but it's going to mean a death onto him as well. Static Blast now coming through. Tricks working the gen off in the distance very diligently. However, going to have to get off of it. Singles back up off the ground here. And we do actually know where Trance is as well, it looks like. Yep, there is Trance. Trance now taking chase over at this filler tile again. Tricks, however, working the generator off in the distance. We need it down very quickly, winning this window very diligently. Very good job from Trance here. Just not going to quite be able to get the down. Roxanne needs to win a 50-50. Is actually going to do it. But unfortunately, we have a filler pallet here. This is very... A very strong loop coming in for Roxanne. Needs to win this window, but not going to quite happen, unfortunately. Needs to win this window now, too. Very good stuff here from Trance, winning that window. Window tech now coming through, but it's actually going to work and mean that Trance is going to be able to make this filler palette. Very good stuff from Trance here. Trance continuing to take very good chases, 50-50, 50-50 after 50-50. It's really incredible stuff here we're seeing from the Survivors side. Roxanne just not quite able to pinpoint Trance, and we are actually going to see it. As we now gets picked up off of the ground here. Vaulting this window, maybe to try to catch Wee off a little bit. And we are going to see a down on to Wee. I never got the chance to talk about the build. We have Rapid Brutality, Surge, Pain Resonance, and save the best for last. Want to patrol this exit game. We're not going to find anyone. Tricks and Singles are going to be resetting, and we're going to actually get the reset off in time. Very good stuff from Singles and Tricks here. You have 2 slugs on the ground. A 2k6 would be a respectable result here for Roxanne. And there are both of our Survivor players here. Roxanne going to find it very difficult to get another tag here, let alone a down. So is going to probably have to just camp these slugs a little bit. Wants to make sure that the Survivors cannot get this by any means necessary. Do we actually see a tag onto Tricks here? Doing this means one of the Survivors are going to get up the floor. Singles now going for the pickup on to Wee here. Wee getting picked up off the floor. Trance also getting picked up off the floor. But here's the thing. One of these Survivors is going down. Maybe even 2 of them. They're heading back into the map here. Singles going to go down by this garbage filler here. Tries to spin, but not going to quite work on Roxanne, as we do know Trance was over on this area. But there is Tricks taking chase at this filler tile here, filler palette. Wants to try to win these 50s, is actually going to do so. Wee picking up Singles. The question is, can we stop it in time? There is Trance. Do we care about Trance at all? It looks like we actually do, going for Trance here. Singles getting picked up off the ground. And now we're taking chase at this filler tile. No choice, as it means Wee's gonna go back down on the ground here. We do see Trance over in the distance. We do unfortunately have to pick up Tricks here. No flashlight save gonna come through. Can you actually find a down onto Trance? It's not gonna quite happen. Dropping Tricks here. As both of those Survivors are going to be exiting the trial. Has no choice. We have to pick up Wee. And here's the thing. It looks like Tricks is going to be able to make it out of this trial. Even if we're not able to fully crawl out, we are going to escape the killer's grasp here. But I think Tricks is just barely going to be able to crawl out of this exit gate. No, we barely don't make it as we're picking up Tricks now. No endgame Mori to see here, so it looks like Tricks will be escaping this trial as well. The question is, does he go for the pickup onto Wee, or does he just leave the trial? I think he's just going to take his exit, but he's actually picking up Wee here. Needs to be a borrowed time hit. Not gonna quite happen. As Tricks goes down on the ground, giving another extra stage here. There's gonna be 4 stages to our name here. Needs to try to stall for as long as possible here. And Wee is out of the gate. Giving Tricks some time on the ground here, but it's not going to quite happen, as we are going to see the endgame Mori. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we will see Seraphim playing the killer here against Voidheart. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final match of Seraphim versus Voidheart here. For the side of Seraphim, Trance. For the side of Voidheart, Danny Dorito, Broccoli, Fox Fibs, and Rhymes. Trance just gonna go ahead and try to find a very early chase, and we do actually find one in Rhymes here. Rhymes now taking chase, wants to head over to the shack, but is actually gonna be able to make this nice little filler pallet here. Looks like we're just gonna be holding W. Probably a very smart play here coming in from Trance. Not gonna quite make the window, but the question is, do we get the pallet drop in time? We do not, and it's gonna result in a tag onto Rhymes or Danny Dorito, Broccoli working a gen off in the distance. Fox Fibs probably looking for a generator himself, as Trance is going to be continuing chase at this rock filler, but is not gonna quite be able to make the filler itself here. Very unfortunate stuff for Rhymes. That's gonna be a quick down here for Trance. A pickup coming through. Pain Resonance, it has to be close by as well, but it doesn't like we're actually interested in taking our Pain Resonance. We might not be able to make one, actually. Yeah, I don't think we would have been able to make one. So very unfortunate stuff here coming in from Voidheart here. Rhymes getting hooked, not on a Pain Resonance, but Trance not gonna get his value from it either. So Danny Dorito now taking chase over at this filler tile. Gonna take a tag here. Rapid Brutality coming through. We're gonna be able to use it to catch up as quickly as we possibly can. Static Blast coming in. We want to be able to tunnel out Rhymes best as we possibly can here. And I don't think I mentioned, but we've already won. One stage was our win condition, and Seraphim has taken the match today. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's 2 stages is our win. No, it's 4 stages. What am I talking about? Why would I think it's 1 stage? What would I think it's... Oh, because it all happened in Endgame. That's my bad. Oh my god, ADHD does things to you guys. But we're seeing another hook here on to Rhymes here, relatively early here. 2 stages to our name. Breaking down the main door here. Static Blast gonna be coming through. And we do actually see chase going on to, I think this is Danny Dorito. This is Danny Dorito. We might see a very, very early down here coming in. That is going to be a very early down on to Danny Dorito. Fox Fibs now no choice but to go for the unhook onto Rhymes here. We're just interested in taking our hook here. Not going to be a Pain Resonance yet again. A bit too far here. So Broccoli will be able to pop this gen uncontested or unhook onto Rhymes. Rhymes needs to be very, very careful. We're healing on the unhook. But the question is, I don't think it's going to work out as we have no choice but to leave it. And are we? Yeah, we're interested in continuing the tunnel on to Rhymes here. A tag on to Fox Fibs. Maybe trying to protect Rhymes a little bit. Maybe a bit too early there. Dropping the pallet. Trying to win this 50 mind game, and does win the mind game very well. They're down on to Rhymes, and that's going to be a death at 4 gens remaining. One more stage on the board until Team Seraphim has taken the game. And there is Danny Dorito. A down and a death and a hook onto Danny Dorito will mean the win for Seraphim. And with that, are we confident? There is Fox Fibs now taking chase over at the main building. Big Blast coming through. Has to play for the pallet. They're not going to quite happen. But Fox Fibs going to go down anyway. And that is going to be a down onto Fox Fibs. And a hook onto Fox Fibs. And with this hook means a victory for Team Seraphim today. Very well played from Team Seraphim. We're now playing for Pride points. As we do see Broccoli here over on this side of the map, heading over to the machine here, wants to try to play it, but it's going to get blasted. I don't like the way I phrased that. It's going to get static shocked. Blasted statically. That. Now we need to win this 50-50. Broccoli actually doing a very good job here. He's going to be able to make this window. So very good stuff from Broccoli. He needs to win this mind game. Actually does. Very, very good job from Trance. And Broccoli now continuing chase. Batteries included coming through here. 10% haste is massive. Batteries included. I was informed that batteries included is actually pretty common now in competitive Dead by Daylight, just because, well, I assume because you want to be taking chases to where gens have already popped, right? So it's actually something I didn't think I would see a lot of play, or a lot get played a lot, but here we are. A blast coming through onto, again, the wording here. A shock coming in onto Fox Fibs here. A down coming through as well. Danny Dorito, only one left standing. If we can find Danny Dorito, we have closed down this game with a 4K4. I think we might have seen them. We did, as a pickup onto Broccoli signifies such. Gonna try to play that pallet, but isn't actually going to. Instead, we're interested in going for Fox Fibs, as that is the person that is going to try to be running over for the save here. Fox Fibs needs to play this tile, but is not gonna quite even make it. Very good try from Fox Fibs. And now we're looking for Broccoli. We have our static blast at the ready, using it to try to find him. We do not find him. Question is, where is he stealthing? Behind a rock at the machine. Broccoli now running, and we will actually find Broccoli. A shot coming in, and I do not believe we'll be able to get any sort of pickup coming in as well. Broccoli now has to run the rock. The question is, can we actually make it? Want to force the pallet, but it's not gonna actually happen. Broccoli doing his absolute darndest at this pallet, and doing a pretty decent darndest at that. However, it is going to be a down on to Broccoli. A 4K with 4 generators remaining. Very well played from Team Seraphim. Picking up Danny Dorito is just Fox Fibs left on the ground over at the small hut as well. The question is, will Trats be able to find Fox Fibs? I do not think a bleed out here will matter. Seraphim has taken the game. However, we can reduce their points. But it looks like we actually remember where we might have downed Fox Fibs, so we are looking for him. And there is Fox Fibs. That is going to be a 4K with 4 generators remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, we have more exciting games coming up today at the Entities Campfire. Later on, we will be seeing Wigglebuff versus Aphelion at 5 EST. And then we will be seeing Hollow versus Isolate. It might be 4 EST, actually. Oh, it's 3. Oh, it's 4. It's 4. What am I talking about? And then we will have Hollow versus Izalith. It'll be me casting with you all for those games as well. So stay tuned for that later on, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.